We are now joined by Jennifer Miksch. Jennifer is a master degree student in International Affairs at the Graduate Institute of International and Development Studies in Geneva, and currently she is working on her thesis on female founders of online startups. She is also winner of this year's St. Gallen Wings of Excellence Award. Congratulations. Thank you for granting us some of your time and being here with us. Your contribution deals with the differences between men and women regarding risk-taking. In a nutshell, what are the main differences?
Well, personally, I would say it totally depends on whom you're talking to. You have to make differences between the West and the East, or you have to make differences on the position of the person, whether you're talking to someone who's the head of a family or whether you're talking to someone who is taking the risk of starting an own startup. So I would personally say that the difference between men and women is not only depends on the situation, but depends on the region. And personally, the experience I have is that women differ in some characteristics. One of them is risk, but as I also said in my presentation, as Simone de Beauvoir pointed out, one is not born a woman, one becomes a woman. So it is a social process, and it all comes back to whom you're talking to, where this person comes from, and at what time you're talking to them. And while women are bigger risk takers and might be more social in a certain sense, they might also be more more sensitive to problems, more sensitive to the problems of other people. But I think that men have the very same ability. They simply haven't worked it out yet.
Being an expert on entrepreneurship and risk-taking, what are the main characteristics an entrepreneur should have to be successful, in your opinion?
Well, first of all, he needs the ideas. So an entrepreneur should be flexible and creative. And second, he needs to be a team player, because the team is a crucial thing in a startup. As I also said in my presentation, getting the funding of a startup is most important, and you are mostly funded not for the idea, but for yourself and for the people you're working with. And third, you also need to take risks, just to come back to the topic. And risk contains in this sense to go to an investor, pitch your idea, and maybe be rejected heavily, but do it all over and over and over again, and then maybe after half a year or a year get the funding. But this is a huge risk you have to take for yourself, to be rejected or not.
Being a leader of tomorrow here at the St. Gallen Symposium, what are the major risks we, the next generation, will be confronted with?
That's a very difficult question, and I think looking at the whole topics of the symposium, I would say it's arrogance. It's the arrogance of people thinking that they have the one solution which will help. And when it comes to the economic crisis or when it comes to political situations, so I personally think that people should really go to symposiums like this or events, international events, just to discuss other attitudes and to get other opinions. And it's the arrogance which is the biggest problem, I think.
Would you consider yourself being a risk taker?
Privately, definitely. I mean, I have a lot of adventurous hobbies, but when it comes to business, I am more of an observer in the beginning. But at some point, when I get to understand the situation, I jump forward and like to take the opportunity. So I can personally imagine having a startup later, but I first need to have the right idea and the right team. So I am a risk taker, but like a later comer.
Thank you very much for your time, and enjoy your stay here at the St. Gallen Symposium.
Thank you.
You're welcome.